So we're just taking a quick look at Vechain then for another daily update on the channel. As we can see, looking like we are continuing down here. Bitcoin doing its best to ruin the markets as always. You can see here Bitcoin basically just having a nice bounce yesterday, but red today again for no apparent reason here, honestly. You can see we've obviously had our range that we put in it last week. Dropped on Monday, we obviously consolidated here, started to pick up, came into this fair value gap here and rejected heavily, which probably means that we're going to continue down for a little while. We could come back down to this previous swing low down here, or we could bounce from this area here, where we have got a good amount of fair value gaps as well. But right now, the Bitcoin looking a little bit bearish this week. As I said on Monday, usually when you drop on Monday, you do see Bitcoin have a bearish week, and we could continue down with some of the news in traditional markets over the next few days. Right now, Bitcoin looking like it's putting in a range again, but as always, when Bitcoin starts to chop around like this in a kind of bearish pattern, you do see the altcoin space suffering. You can see Vechain here reacting very heavily to this, continuing down and making a new lower low, even though Bitcoin hasn't even done that, as you can see. But obviously we always get an overreaction in the altcoin space when Bitcoin is dropping. You can see we've come up, tapped into this level here, which is this resistance that we have been under. You can see, you can look at my analysis on this, is pretty obvious where we are at right now. Basically, we had the Trump pump followed by the tariff dump. We come into this very clear and obvious range, tested both sides of it twice, forming a range. And then since then, we've just been kind of coiling up and consolidating in this very tight range here, as you can see. We've got this very, very clear and obvious 1, 2, 3, 4 tests of this trend line resistance. We looked like we were going to actually break out of this. What was it, last week? A week ago today, we looked like we were going to break out of this, but as you can see, we've actually come back down again because Bitcoin was dragging the markets down, and also coinciding with the altcoin basket, as you can see, coming up, hitting a new all-time high here. If you look across, you can see we have clearly made a new all-time high, and then obviously got a rejection from there, as you might expect, at least in the short term. We could see this come down lower depending on what Bitcoin does. Obviously, if Bitcoin drags the market down, then we could come down into this area here, consolidate. Maybe we could bounce out of this fair value gap here, sweep this liquidity, bounce out of this and continue. That would make sense. Right now, looking like we're just rejecting this all-time high, and Bitcoin's obviously doing its best to drag us down this week with this bearish week opening, as you can see right now. Bitcoin in a bit of a precarious spot, and that is why Vechain is retracing. Basically, you can see we're back at the low here. But basically, you could argue that this is the range low, really. If you do something like this, you could say we're at the range low again now. Really, all that we've been doing is just chopping around here, probably back testing this previous level of resistance as support here. If Bitcoin continues to drop, then we'll probably see Vechain continue down into this area here, going lower, down at least towards that 2 cent level, currently at 2.221 cents. But right now, you know, Vechain just not doing anything, to be honest. Not looking very bullish at all. Not looking particularly bearish either, just basically doing nothing, going sideways. We're in a range, within this range of the tariff range, and really just not looking very interesting at all. Pretty low volume, pretty low interest in general. We do need to see the altcoin space in general go to a new all-time high. I think once Ethereum hits a new all-time high and that altcoin space gets good displacement above that new all-time high that we've made here, I think if we can head up towards that $2 trillion level, I think Vechain's going to be in a much better spot, and we'll probably start picking up through some of these levels of resistance. But right now, you can see not much to say apart from the fact that we are just chilling here, and basically just waiting to see what will happen next with the whole space, really. We need to see that altcoin basket in general getting up above that new all-time high yet again, and Ethereum dragging us up. As always, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Check back every day for daily updates and get some free money in the description below. Cheers.